The officials for tonight's match are Jordan Hines, Dana Breedlove Hackney, Sue Moy Chin, and Noah Hughes. The starting lineup for today's opponent, Dayton Dutch Lions, is number 4, Emma Frey, number 6, Sydney Hardesty, number 10, Dara Russo, number 12, Riley Morse, number 14, Riley McKinney, number 15, Bailey Cairns, number 19, Elizabeth Powell, number 22, Savannah Cronin, number 23, Presley Pennekamp, number 26, Samantha Urban, number 52, Amber Brandon. goalkeeper Emily Edwards. Number 9, Reese Sahaki. Number 12, Matt Kruer. Number 13, Chloe Bratt. Number 17, Taylor Guthrie. Number 15, Lauren Adam. Number 23, Brooklyn Lee. Number 21, Brianna Dardano. Number 27, Abigail Mills. Number 32, Nikki Jadoin. And number 33, Olivia Smith. The head coach of Indy 11 is Brandon Kim. He is assisted by assistant coaches Gina Gourmet and Raina Hockauer. Goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift, and assistant goalkeeper coach is Dr. Kelly Freeland. Let's give it up for your Indy 11!
Judah, can you hear me? Yes, I can. We're going to aim to start the national anthem when the clock on the scoreboard says 3:40. You got it.
For the third time this week, the Indy 11 are at home at the Community Health Network Event Center on the Drop Light Grand Park Sports Campus. For a second time this week, they take on the Dayton Dutch Lions. They hope that this meeting is every bit as good as the last one from the Indy perspective, because Indy won that one on Sunday, 6-0. Tonight's match on Sports Engine Play on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes, and by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Alongside Kristen Hazley, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Women's Soccer. And geez, the last couple of games have gone exceedingly well for the Indy 11. In fact, dating back to their last road game in Toledo, they have outscored the other three teams in this division 15-0 in their last three matches.
Yeah, that's how you put up a goal differential number right there. I'll tell you what, Indy 11 tonight, though, playing for the chance to hope for a playoff berth, becoming scoreboard watchers after this win, hopefully, but they have to take the first step. Win tonight, keep yourself alive for a postseason berth.
Let's get to our league standings. They're presented by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Again, Indy 11 atop the standings now. If you go by points per match, it is still Dayton. So, frankly, the top three teams all are in control of their own destiny, and maybe that's not the case for the Indy 11. So here's the way the math checks out. After tonight, they don't play again until June 24th against Toledo. Racing and Dayton play each other twice. Indy has to win their last two, and frankly, they cannot have Louisville win out. If that happens, Racing takes the division by a point over the Indy 11. Two teams getting ready for kickoff of this one. We will quickly step aside. When we come back, starting lineups, keys the game at opening kickoff. It all comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Women's Soccer on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Deep inside you, there's a spark waiting to be ignited, a yearning for a real connection, something that truly moves you. Find experiences that stir your soul in our new Kentucky home, where amazing nature and authentic bluegrass inspire you, where world-renowned bourbon and horses wow you. Kentucky, find what moves you.
Across the globe, billions share one passion, soccer.
And here in the Hoosier State, that passion belongs to the Indy 11. Fast-paced action, electric crowds, and a team that represents Indiana every time they step on the field.
Make it 7 for Bruno Rendon. Chance to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Indy 11, the world's game, Indiana's team. Secure your seats today at Indy11.com.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Let's get to our starting lineups for tonight's contest. They are presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Again, third home match of the week, Sunday, Wednesday, and now Saturday. And frankly, Brandon Kim's lineup has largely looked the same. Only change tonight is that Lauren Adam goes in place of Riley DiMartino. You'll also notice Emma Johnson is back in the 20 tonight. She has been gone the last couple of matches, playing for the U20 national team. So great to see Emma back in. Gemma Gillespie started all of the matches at Butler that the Bulldogs had this season, and Nona Reason is the backup netminder. But again, maybe because they have controlled the tempo, because they've been able to sub players after 45 or 60. Most of these players, Kristen, have started all 3 of these matches this week.
Yeah, and how nice is it to have that consistency, especially in your midfield and the back line, when your offense runs so often off of keeping possession and trying to find those balls forward. It's really important to have fresh legs, not only in the back controlling, but moving forward, going onto those balls as well.
On the flip side for the Dayton Dutch Lions, some new faces from what we saw on Sunday, but again, kind of an overall theme. You'll notice the substitute line is not very full. Just 5 subs today for the Dayton Dutch Lions. And so, again, a group that might be struggling to kind of keep up from a pace standpoint the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, it might be a little tough, especially with that shorter bench for sure. But, you know, there are 8 changes to that starting 11 we saw last Sunday. So not a lot that you can come out and expect to be the same from Dayton. Obviously, they're still going to want to play a tight game. They want to keep this low scoring. Indy 11, I think they want to get out, set the pace, and start on the front foot.
Let's get to the keys of the game. Our keys brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Kristen, take it away.
Well, number one, similar to what we saw last Sunday, you have to dominate the midfield. That means controlling the ball, controlling possession. That is when Indy 11 is at their best. They need that quick ball movement and midfield runners springing forward into the attack. Number 2, score first. I think this is vital for the 11 to come out, put your best foot forward, score fast, score first, and just remind Dayton about what happened here 6 days ago. And finally, you cannot give Dayton transition opportunities. What we saw on Sunday was a lot of the opportunities for Dayton were self-inflicted by the Indy 11. So I think you have to avoid those careless turnovers in the midfield and just play some smart position in the back line, which the Indy 11 has been really good at this season.
Indy 11 in their home navy blue with the red sash or slash across the kits, is however you want to phrase it. The traditional Dutch colors of the orange, white, and blue for the Dayton Dutch Lions. And you got to be kidding me. After Guthrie hit one from 35 yards, she goes off the crossbar off the start of the match. Oh, my goodness.
I thought that was in. That was dropping. Wow. Great heads-up play there.
Amber Brandon, who is in goal tonight for the Dayton Dutch Lions, and you being a former keeper in your own right, you're hard to be in your throat a little bit there watching that unfold.
Absolutely. I felt the butterflies all over my stomach again. Just, it's that keeper mutual feeling for you. But I've been there. It's embarrassing when it happens, but hey, it does happen to everyone.
Foul called against the Indy 11. Restart coming here for Dayton. Indy, a 6-0 win on Sunday. That is after losing to the Dayton Dutch Lions 1-0 earlier this year. To be honest with you, we think this match will be more like the one in Dayton. Again, I think it'd be a surprise if Indy puts up those sort of numbers a second time in a row.
Yeah, especially when you look at statistically, Dayton has not given up a lot of goals except on that 1-6-0 date here in Indianapolis. So again, I think Dayton is just going to try and be not necessarily conservative, but they want to control this pace. They want to be organized, they want to be defensive, and they want to dictate the pace.
So hockey buzzing around that one. It will be a turnover in the back. Olivia Smith jumps on this one. So hockey and Judoin have formed a pretty good partnership up top for the Indy 11. Our guess is you would see Hodson in off the bench, as she has done each of the last 2 games, and had a second-half hat trick against the Dayton Dutch Lions on Sunday.
There are a lot of excellent sparks that come off this bench for Coach Brandon Kim, but no doubt that Ellie Hodgson was the spark here last weekend.
Really a 3-5-2 that can morph into a 5-3-2 if needed for the Indy 11. Kruer, Mills, and Adam at the back. And Adam in the spot that Sherry Yu had for a good chunk of the season. She got hurt in the game against Dayton and exited in the first half. She's not in the 20 for tonight's contest.
No, but I like Lauren Adams stepping into that role. They're similar players, her and Sherry Yu. Similar strength, similar speed on that outside position.
And that will be a corner coming for the Indy 11, as that ball was played back to the keeper, but in one sense, a good thing to kind of steer that wide. Keeper couldn't get over there and get to it in time. So restart coming from the near side corner flag for the Indy 11. And you see immediately Dayton's going to tuck a couple of players inside each post. That's a bit of defensive help.
Yeah, if you can spare the players, that's always the spot to go. First one that would come off if I was in goal was that front post.
To the edge of the 6, Dayton gets there first. And the distribution does find Brooke Dardano. Will be out of play and a throw coming. Dardano with the ricochet goal against Dayton on Sunday night. But that really kind of changed, I think, the course of the game. That kind of took whatever wind was in the sails of Dayton left at that moment.
Well, I think it was such a great representation of what that entire half of soccer was, and it was Indy 11 stepping hard, pressuring hard, and Dayton Dutch Lions really being on that back foot. And so that final-ish play of that first half when she got that ricochet goal, again, just completely encapsulates the effort that went into that first half.
Give away at the back by Indy. Kruer got to the ball first, even though player took a tumble for Dayton. As you can see with Kruer's length of stride, her closing speed is tremendous. Redshirted at Michigan State this past year. It's Brecht. Ball goes directly to the keeper. Two up top tonight for we've seen them kind of morph formations over the course of the season. Guthrie will play like her hair is on fire in terms of chasing that and adding an extra body into the press for the Indy 11.
They've got so many just adaptive players that can play that forward, midfield, even defending position that really gives them a lot of freedom to morph those formations to what is being given to them.
Well, there was an early injury for Dayton on Sunday, and they've got a player, I think she's going to be fine, but you saw they were kind of down a player on the far side for a matter of moments. Mills pass back to Edwards, handled with ease. Guthrie takes a tumble. Dardano battling in the midfield and eventually going to be called for a foul. This portion of the match brought to us by Desnuda. Desnuda 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes. Riley McKinney with player that was fouled for Dayton. McKinney has a shot from distance, and that's a pretty easy play for Edwards, who's on her way to Auburn. Last 2 years, the starter at Purdue. Very unique tonight that this match is going on simultaneously as the Indy 11 men's match in Pittsburgh. Rare, but it happens this time of year with the crossover season. Thank you for choosing us. We don't blame you if you kind of switch back and forth during the course of the match.
Multi-view. We have the technology these days.
Good pressure applied, and simply put, you can see that Dayton is more engaged in the fight early in the match than they were in the game on Sunday. Sahaki splits two defenders, has Breck flying down with her, and Reese just couldn't track that down. Great hustle by Bailey Cairns to track back and sweep that ball away.
That's always a good sign for the 11, though. When you get Reese Sahaki running onto a ball forward, good things happen. So a great sign for them that that ball is on.
Sahaki had the opening salvo against Louisville on Wednesday. She's been a very steady presence for this Indy 11 squad this year. She has kind of played her way up through the ranks from the academy side to now helping the W League team in multiple seasons. Look at the freshman year at Xavier this year. Back to midfield, and again, Sahaki does just enough. And now, waiting for a teammate. Finds Jadoin. Guthrie joins in the attack as well. And again, Guthrie not shy from letting it go from distance, as we've seen already. Jadoin did not score on Wednesday. Had goals in the previous two matches before that at the University of Louisville Cardinal.
And they're doing a nice job right now. You see how that midfield and the forwards, Jadoin and Guthrie, they're almost interchangeable, and they'll make those runs off of each other. Just have to keep possession.
Sahaki to Mills. We saw 4 different Notre Dame players play on Wednesday for the Indy 11. Breck slides it across to the edge of the 6 and just couldn't find a teammate. Put in a dangerous spot. Warren Adam will track it down. Here's Smith. Just finished her 4th year at Indiana University. Longest spell of possession for the Indy 11. So much so that Mills has rotated up to not far from the 18. She's a center back for the Indy 11.
This is just where Dayton can really explode out. And here they do a nice job of pulling it back and keeping possession. But once the 11 get those numbers in the attack, that's when Dayton's looking to spring back in the transition.
Ball played forward, nobody there, and Mills can simply step on it. She's had assists in each of these last 2 home victories for the Indy 11. Jadoin, good job to dig in that time by Sydney Hardesty.
Yeah, early on you can tell their pressure on the ball is a lot more urgent than what we saw last week. It looks like they've got a little bit more of a controller there in the midfield with Emma Fry. You see her just almost sitting back in that defensive holding position, and that fortifies both lines.
Well, you and I didn't know Emma well because she played her college soccer locally at IUPUI, and then now what is IU Indianapolis?
Go Jags.
My partner's alma mater, and I've been around doing broadcasts for the Jaguars for about a quarter of a century at this point. I'm an outstanding player for Chris Johnson, and then Angela White a season ago. Mills ball a bit short and trying to find Sahaki. Good step up by Smith to keep the attack going. Smith has just been kind of the steadying presence in the midfield for Indy so far this season.
Absolutely, very reliable, really smart on the ball. Often just plays the way she faces, keeps it simple, keeps the ball.
Started all 17 matches for IU last year looking back post. Breck steers it back, but nobody there. Sahaki kind of rotated that back post as well.
I'll tell you what, though, that is 2 great balls by Chloe Breck. Just played it right in front. Far enough out, that keeper can't come get it, just missing the attacker to finish it home.
Breck was 3rd team All Big East last year. 2 goals and 4 assists. She'll be a junior. Playing for Rob and Terry at Butler this coming fall. Crewer, again the read. And simply put, Crewer's got a pro future.
Oh, absolutely. With that length and, I mean, it's not only that, it's the body control on the tackles, everything.
Breck makes the turn, and again, even though you give up a corner, That's a pretty well-timed tackle by Hardesty, because that could have been a whole lot worse.
Absolutely, and you know, when you're coming in that close to the 18 as we take another look at it, it's a great first touch by Breck that forces her to go back inside, and yeah, just barely there, gets the ball. Well done by Hardesty. You've got to be precise there.
So second corner of the match for the Indy 11. This is Dardano that will take it. All the way to the edge of the 6. Headed back, flicked once. Guthrie couldn't get back to it a second time. Rarely here in this center field do we have a ball that flirts with the roof. That one did. There was a men's preseason match in one of the outside fields that we had a few of those roof balls during that one. This is where the Indy 11 men train during the colder months in February and March, and where they play almost all of their preseason friendlies. Frankly, they played their Open Cup opener here on March 17th. And that was a nice bit of scheduling since it was about 25 degrees that night. I don't think the Des Moines Menace were minding playing in the great indoors that evening.
I'm sure. Whew.
I think both us and Detroit City played their home openers in the Open Cup indoors, which is rare and frowned upon by United States Soccer, but given the time of year that it was played because of the World Cup this year, I think everybody understood.
As someone that played in a lot of February, March showcases here in the Midwest,
you get it.
I can tell you.
Guthrie has a hit. I think with our angle, we could tell that was wide, but again, she put one on tape from 35 yards out last time out that scored, and so you've got to step to her when she crosses base of the midfield stripe.
Absolutely, and that one, it's not far off. It almost is a mirror of what we saw her do earlier this week, but I tell you what, she's not far off, but you love the confidence that she's finding those windows to get those shots off. It'll tail itself in. She will find that level, but right now you just love that she's taking those looks.
Freshman to be at Pittsburgh from Edwardsville, Illinois. Ball stays in play. Great job by Mills to do that. Great job by our camera to show you all the action. Thanks, Elijah Mash, for doing that. Thanks to Elijah, Caleb Gross. Thanks to Dylan Lax. Thanks to David Kahn. Thanks to Charlie Hemmick, our producer for all of our home matches this year of Indy 11 soccer. And this is the 4th of 5 home matches out of 9 total in this compacted season. And basically, this is the 8th in the span of a month. And then there is this 11-day gap until the finale. And my partner said it very well. The Indy 11 after night kind of turned into spectators for about a week and are hoping that fate would be in their own hands by the time Toledo comes here on June 24th.
Yeah, that'd be the ideal situation, but you cannot get that far ahead of yourselves right now. If you're the Indy 11, you take it one step at a time, and step one is right here tonight. Can't get a draw. You must have the win here. So going to require a lot of focus and just taking things one step at a time.
Yeah, the max points Indy can get to is 19. That's really kind of where they have to be. Brecht plays it across, and Indy has put the ball in dangerous positions. They have not had the person in said position to cash in just yet. By this time in the last 2 matches, Indy has had a goal. And again,
we're getting a
kind
little
of felt
spoiled.
Tonight's probably going to be a little different. Janoin trying to split 2 defenders and eventually does so. And this, Sahaki, one touch, blasts it through. I was wrong. I think it's going the first 15 minutes. Indy does it again. Sahaki does it again. And it's a goal to the good for the girls in blue.
You called it perfectly, Greg. They had these dangerous balls after dangerous balls. Finally, Jadoin gets one in across. Great job beating the defenders, and who's there but Reese Sahaki. A great first touch, calm in front of goal. Gives the keeper no chance there. How about that poise from the young forward there? And now a Valley leading 6 goals on the season.
And she's just steady Eddie. Good for one basically every match. She had the equalizer in the home opener back on May 13th against Racing. She has now scored now in each of the last 3 matches during the course of this week. Talk about her mom and dad being here at every match. Joe actually on the Butler staff, but Reese playing a conference rival Xavier. Frankly, on Sunday, when Indy jumped out a goal to the good, that's kind of when Dayton really kind of turned it up and were engaged in the fight for about 25, 30 minutes.
That's a great point. I think we saw some of Dayton's best play come when they did go down a goal. Obviously, you get that second one right before half, and you feel a little good about it, but still not certain. 2-0 lead. They came out and took care of business, but you're absolutely right. This is where that counter could come out from the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Mills have been allowed just to venture well up the field. Good read. Sahaki plays it across, and Brandon able to get there just in time. This match is brought to us by our friends at IMCU. Show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. Win here gets Indy to 16 points. They hope that 19 is enough. Dayton and Louisville will play each other twice over the next couple of weeks, the final couple of weeks of the season, in a shortened campaign in a pre-professional setting like the W League. Playing regular season matches mid-June or mid-May through the end of June, and then it's playoff time by the time you get to 4th of July weekend. Brecht tries to play it across, and it's going to be corner number 3 for the Indy 11 here in the first 18 minutes and change.
Excellent job just getting on that front foot, really putting that Dutch Lions defense at the back, which is what you wanted to do from the start, is put them under pressure, see how far they can bend before they break, and right now just doing it with the crosses is the best way they're finding it.
And 2 players tucked inside of the post. Headed down. That's why you put a player right there. So Hockey's follow-up blocked away. Guthrie's blast off a Dayton Dutch Lion player. But redirected by Indy. Then the hit that is steered wide. Look at all the good things we've seen all week long from Indy continuing here, their 3rd home match in 7 days.
Yeah, this is what we saw a little bit on Sunday, was they were putting together the right plays, maybe not finding the finishing touch all at once, and then it did come all at once. But what a nice job there. You love Sahaki on it, you love Guthrie on it, and again, it's just a nice job of keeping them under pressure.
Good ball here as the flag stays down. Better defending by Lauren Adam. A confident touch back to Edwards. Not out of danger just yet. Really has not been a threatening moment for the visitors so far in the match. Ardano does her job. Fry will settle down. That's going to be a foul against Dayton. I want to thank our friends at Ford. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. Brecht could not get there in time.
Good example there of how fast Lauren Adam is with that ball up that right side, and exactly why, or excuse me, Abby Mills, exactly why she is a great replacement there for Cherry U on that right side.
All the way back to Edwards. Mills has been tremendous. And again, Sahaki just turned over her left shoulder when the ball went to her right. Of course, the match presented by our friends at AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Brandon blasts this one away.
So strong in the air.
Guthrie gives chase. Right idea on that pass, and Edwards wisely retreats a couple of steps, so she has the option of using her hands if needed.
And quite frankly, that's the girl you don't want on the ball playing that forward. That's Riley Morris, their leading scorer on the season, has started all the games so far for the Dutch Lions, and really one of those connecting pieces for their offense.
Foul whistled against Indy. Restart coming for the visitors. Distribution a little errant. Rowan coming here for the home side. There'll be some downtime for him. Next match on June 24th, so a week from Wednesday. Taken away by Guthrie. Good double by Dayton, but still to be a throw in here for Indy. By the way, 0-0 on the men's match currently in Pittsburgh. Indy 11 men in action on Wednesday night when they play host to Brooklyn. Catch that on Wish TV as well as the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Kruer giving chase. Hit, but again, it will roll wide, and Edwards had a pretty good read on that one.
Yeah, nothing too worrying there. The bigger concern is that transition play out of the back there, right? You don't want Mackenzie Kruer having to defend, running back towards her goal. That's when things get a little dicey for the 11, especially as the Dutch Lions transition forward with numbers.
Flash for just a moment there for Dayton. Trying to take advantage of a mistake out of the back, but Indy recovers quickly. This is Jadoin. And trying to find Sohaki yet again. One of the rare times that Guthrie hesitated in trying to track down a ball.
Yeah, usually not a lot of hesitation there. I feel like the frustration might be setting in a little bit for those forwards, just not able to find the timing of that cross yet. That time you saw Sohaki getting almost to it, but still just a little late coming into that centered cross.
Throw coming. Frankly, both teams have kind of settled into this one. Lovely down the flick. Wreck flying down the right flank. Has three options of the cross to choose from. Plays Guthrie. Guthrie just didn't get everything she wanted. She picked the right window. Just didn't get everything she wanted to on it.
Exactly right. Picked the right spot. A great cross by Breck. Just gets caught under her feet a little bit, and she senses the pressure coming in, knows she's got to get it off. Got the placement right. It's a great ball in and a great pass by Breck. Just, again, a little bit tough for her to turn in and get full power on that shot.
See, Dayton's kind of starting to play long ball a little bit here. Putting the keys to the match, dominate the midfield. Well, Indy's got the proper personnel to do exactly that.
Absolutely, and especially now with this scoreline, with that 1-0, you want to really look to control that possession even more. Obviously, you're concerned about the transition offense, but hey, if you can keep the ball and keep them spread on defense, it just makes it that much easier than to control the entire pace of the game.
And Indy has allowed all of 3 goals this year, and not more than 1 in any single match. 1 in each of their first 2 contests against Racing Louisville, and 1 in the opener against the Dutch Lions. Giveaway here, but ball rounding to keeper. Can you find the angle? Goes all the way through. Frankly, that was kind of really the only kind of pair of quality chances that Racing had on Wednesday. Was a mistake made at the back, and there was another one that Dayton just couldn't cash in on.
Yeah, and you hope that almost scares them awake a little bit here. It's all great to go on the attack and go on offense, but just like that in a moment, that scoreline can be equal.
Indy has really been kind of right side dominant tonight. They feel they've got a mismatch with Brecht. Flags up. That was Daryl Russo that just straight a step or two past Mills at the right back position for the Indy 11.
And right now, quite frankly, they do have that advantage with Brecht. As you take another look here, it's a great touch to get past the keeper. Russo doesn't, I mean, even a better ball just goes flat across. No one there to finish it. But you made the great point. Brecht is getting a lot of look, and it's because her and Mills are doing a nice job of connecting on that give and go down the right side.
Got through the back heel. Dolan just couldn't get to it in time. Brandon content to step on it, and Indy frankly giving her the chance to kind of catch her breath a little bit. Brandon plays at the University of Cincinnati. She has not seen much in the way of match time her first couple of years on campus. That'll roll all the way in touch for a goal kick coming for Indy. This one kind of has a bit of a casual feel to it right now. It's been 12 minutes since the Indy 11 got the only tally of the match.
It is one of those lulls of the match, if you will. I used to have a coach that said that those were the most important minutes to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the other team is maybe have their guard down or they're just trying to stick to something simple, can you step forward and make something happen out of that lull?
Lee digs in. Frankly, because Indy has been, again, pretty right tonight. We haven't talked about Brooklyn that much in the match. Native of Tacoma, Washington. Mike Jadoin plays at the University of Louisville. Speaking of Nikki, there she is. Gets past her defender. 2v2 with Sahaki. Creates a little bit of space, trying to widen things out a little bit. Well, for her assist, she split two defenders. She took on three there for a moment.
That's insane. The fact that she was able to keep that.
Brack the cross, and Sahaki flying in. Smith now joins the attack. It is Fry who blasts that away. Emma was second team All-Horizon League this year as a senior. Was first team All-Horizon League as a junior for the Jaguars the previous fall. Mills is kind of the cooler for the Indy 11.
She is
just hit it to her when in doubt. Brecht again. That's a good read in the midfield. That's really perceptive by Dayton. Player did a good job of getting a body right in front of the young lady on your screen now, and Taylon Guthrie.
And she is not easy to slow down. She is one strong forward on the ball and off the ball. So again, a great play there by Dayton. And again, you know, we talk about Mills just being that cool, collected distributor in that back right side. And take another look there. Yeah, just a little bit late on the back heel there.
I think that was Erbach, I think, that made that read, that knew kind of exactly where to sit in defensively for Dayton.
Well, it makes sense from the former Big East Freshman of the Year.
Mills keeps getting plenty of space. Put a little too much into that one, right idea. But not enough traffic in front of Brandon for it to be much of a difference maker. And with just two in the front and not three, Indy's kind of a little more okay, I guess, with just kind of saying, all right, you know what, we're not going to crank up the high press just yet. And again, let's acknowledge it's the third game in 7 days for a lot of these players. Ask for a handball, don't get it. Ball caroms the way of Indy anyway.
Yeah, and part of that might be score situation at this point. You know, you might see that high press if the Dayton starts to get more of possession, if they feel a little bit more comfortable, then I could see, you know, Indy 11 really starting to force that a little bit more. The important thing is not so much that it's consistent, but it's that everyone goes together. Because if one forward goes and the rest don't follow her, it's a wasted effort.
Shannon Cronin gets a touch there in the midfield. She, like Emma Fry, another Indiana collegiate product. Plays at Indiana Wesleyan. Of course, they're good at every sport at Indiana Wesleyan. As Christian and I know from the amount of time we spend on the Marion University campus.
And speaking of it, Cronin was the Crossroads Defensive Player of the Year. We'll have to go back and check what that Marion scoreline was, because Marion's hard to stop.
Yeah, Marion finished in the quarterfinals this year of the NAI National Tournament. It's about as far back on the pitch as Sohaki has been all week. She's able to focus her energy going forward. This portion of the match is brought to us by Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes. And it's Brecht. Jadoin. You have the luxury of that 1-goal lead, and he says, all right, fine, we'll go all the way back and we'll start this back over again, and we'll make you chase us a little bit longer.
Yeah, and that time we saw a little bit of a different wrinkle down the right side from Indy 11, and it was part because, like you said, Risa Hockey sucked back so deep, and she did a nice job playing the way she faced, but that allowed Brecht to get forward, and that's how we saw her get in that time.
Fraction against the Indy 11. Offside flag went up. Dardano has been great at forcing that ball all week long for the Indy 11, and that goal clearance steered wide because of it.
And it's a nice job again of just continuing to pressure that back line, wearing at those defensive midfielders for Dayton. When they start to make mistakes, that's when things also open up for the 11, and we've seen that they do a nice job of taking advantage of those moments.
Really the first bit of pressure the Crewers kind of been under all night. Russo and Urbach both kind of descended upon her.
The fact that she's so smooth with her length is just another reason I think she should probably do well at the next level. She's got such great control of not only her touch, but just the way she moves, the way she uses her body on the defensive end, as well as in those situations. I mean, she just sent the defender flying the other way with a nice little Cruyff move behind the other foot.
Are you allowed to use the Cruyff turn against a team named the Dayton Dutch Lions? Is that okay?
She Cruyffed them, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Did it to themselves. Tasted their own medicine.
We saw Hal Hirschfeld before her days in the NWSL play here for the Indy 11, part of the 2023 season. And we've seen some former pros kind of come back and sharpen their skills by playing for the Indy 11 during the summer as well. And all of this group are about to head to college, currently in college, have a couple of players who have used up their college eligibility as of last fall. Obviously, these days you've got two different options in which to play professionally in this country, whether it's the NWSL or the Gamebridge Super League under the USL banner. Trying to split the through ball against Crewer that just pokes it about 5 yards back the opposite direction. Mills is just allowed just to take that ball 30 yards.
Yeah, Jadoin checks in, tries to get it at her feet, which opens up the behind ball for Brecht.
Jadoin has a hit, and again, didn't get as much on it as she would have liked to. Jadoin thought she might be able to kind of sneak in there and catch Brandon off guard.
This is better from Dayton here. Ooh, good tackle by Sahaki.
Sahaki has a hit from distance, and ricochets that off the bar. I think there's been a little scouting going on here for the Indy 11. Clearly they have realized that you might be able to chip the keeper at some point tonight.
Yeah, and maybe, yeah, I mean, she's all the way up above her 6. She was not getting back to that, and that's part and parcel of being aware as a keeper, right? As soon as you see that Sahaki's even trying to tackle that ball, you've got to be on the drop step.
Cleared away by the Dayton Dutch Lions. This portion of the first half presented by our friends at AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. I think if you're Dayton, I think you're almost kind of love to get one back here, but you almost feel good if you go down just by 1 at halftime. Jadoin keeps that in play.
Great touch.
Brecht plays it across, slip through and make it 2. There it was. You just felt that it was about ready to happen. It's like Brooklyn Lee gets that one for the Indy 11. Make it 2 here in minute number 39.
Take just a look. It's Chloe Brecht, no doubt about it. Again, she's been dominating the right side. Finally, a perfect cross there. And how about the awareness? Cutting right outside the 6 there, and a beautiful finish to go the opposite way of where the keeper was moving. Beautiful work there. Two-go lead for the 11 coming in.
That was a shot as beautiful as the view from her high school.
Oh, yeah?
Let me explain. Now, you're a little bit younger than me. Are you familiar with the movie, The 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yes.
Remember the beautiful stadium they had
Goes
in that movie
down.
that overlooked the water? That is where Brooklyn went to high school. Stadium High School in Tacoma, Washington. Literally, her high school a movie set. I think the kids would say that goal was absolute cinema or something. Did I get that right?
I'm not a kid anymore.
You're a kid compared to me, though. 2-0 for the Indy 11 for the girls in blue.
You'll take it. And I'll tell you what, for as much as they've gone down the right side, they did not become predictable there at all. Obviously, we saw Brecht getting cross after cross after cross in and on target. But the build-up, they did it multiple different ways. They went forward, they went back, they played diagonal, switched it and went forward. It just is impossible to defend when you create it that many different ways.
A handball by Brecht. A restart coming here for the Dutch Lions. If they can get one back here before halftime. In the last 4 matches for Indy, they have outscored their opponents 17-0. Foul called against Indy there.
It's going to come back, and it's going to give Dayton a free kick in a dangerous position here. Probably about 25, 30 yards out.
Our last 5 minutes plus stoppage time, presented by our friends at Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. I think the claim was there was a jersey tug there at some point in time. The hit that never threatens the goal.
You know,
I think normally, Kristen, you don't think those are overly threatening moments from there because there's been so little chances for Dayton. You kind of felt that needed to be one, and obviously it wasn't.
I mean, you're either off by an inch or off by a mile, it feels like, sometimes on those free kicks.
It's Riley Morris that took that one. And Jadoin joins the run, pokes it away, fight to the ball, keeper gets it. Great play by the keeper in Brandon. Frankly, quality by Jadoin not to make contact with the keeper on the play.
Yeah, it's a great touch by Jadoin just to get to the outside left, and then great timing by Brandon. Good form, comes down, arms go up, protects herself, and like you said, Jadoin with a nice little hurdle there to finish it off.
Well, we have been awfully spoiled in the 5-year history of the Indy 11 women's program. They've competed in all 5 seasons of the W League. They've been good a lot more than anything else. But this run as of late is about as good as it has been.
They have been in, I mean, you just have to call it impressive form.
We've raved about the depth, but again, the starters these last 3 matches, especially this week, and Crew are going to be called for the foul. It's been not completely the same starting lineup, but the majority of players have started all 3 of these matches in 7 days.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's one thing that maybe you didn't have all of those years where we are a little spoiled now, is that consistency. And, you know, part of that is college schedules, summer schedules. You're obviously maybe not available for every single game or every single practice, but I think we've seen more consistency, at least in the lineup this year, than we did last season.
Throw coming. Here's McKinney. McKinney has a hit, and that finds the back of the net. So Dayton gets one back. Riley McKinney gets the goal for the Dayton Dutch Lions, and it's back to a 1-goal game.
And quite frankly, it's an opportunity gifted to them by the 11 there. It's another giveaway in the midfield, and that touch there just takes the space. Mackenzie Kruger gets caught in no man's land there, decides to go too late, and quite frankly, Edwards should save that. That should be a save right there. She's in good position, just tries to get a little fancy with it with the parry. Just hold it. It's dipping down on you. It's a little tough. It's the moving ball, but still, you've got to go with 2 hands there. No reason to try and tip that.
It's just the 4th goal of the season allowed by the Indy 11. Immediately within 30 seconds, Indy gets a look inside of the 18. But it's now game on at 2-1 here in the 44th minute.
Yeah, we haven't seen them concede, like you were mentioning, hardly at all, especially at home. But when we did see them concede to Racing Louisville early on in the season, the response was what you would want it to be as a head coach or as a teammate out here. It was immediately a positive pressure, a nice job of trying to take control back of the game.
A foul against Dayton. We'll look toward the 4th official in a matter of moments as Dardano is able to quickly hop up off the turf. Had 3 goals, no substitutions. Not a whole lot of whistles, frankly, in half number 1. Part of that has been because possession has been pretty lopsided in favor of Indy.
Yeah,
One of the rare passes that Mills does not complete. Ball played across. Bit nervy at the back right now for the Dutch Lions.
Very nervy there, but Sahaki just on it, ready to take advantage right away.
Well done by Mills. One minute of additional time, says our 4th official for tonight's contest. Indy has had control, but because the last goal did not belong to them, a bit of a different feeling with just a handful of seconds left to go before halftime.
Absolutely. You worked so hard to get those first 2 goals. Like you said, you felt like you controlled most of the game. You created a lot of great opportunities this half, just weren't able to finish all of those. So to have Dayton pull 1 back before halftime, it can sometimes be a little bit defeating. They'd love to get 1 again. Obviously, time ticking here, but it's going to be important to come out of that halftime ready to go, right on the front foot again.
Sahaki looking back post. Just couldn't get a control and touch, could Lee. And Basically, I think once this ball is hit, we'll be done with activities in half number one. And that is the case. So one last look here for the Indy 11. Just couldn't get that second touch to potentially make it a 2-goal lead. However, Indy 11 is in front, 2-1 after 45 minutes of action, looking to sweep their home 3 matches for the week and widen their lead in the Valley Division to 5 points. Talk more about that when we come back to the Community Health Network Event Center at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus as you're watching Indy 11 women's soccer, doing so on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I going to explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just going to call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation. And the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Back at halftime here inside the Community Health Network Event Center at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus, the home of the Indy 11 women since day number 1. It is 2-1 in favor of Indy. The last goal belonged to Dayton. That has kind of maybe changed the outlook, but still, if you're Brandon Kim's team, trying to get a 4th consecutive win, 3 of those at home. So far, mostly good. One kind of casual moment, slice the lead in half.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's all it takes in this game to really change how it feels. And we saw it, just a moment of lapse there, and the giveaway pulls it back to 2-1. But early on, if you're Brandon King, you got to focus on what the positives were, which is you had a majority of possession, you created a majority of opportunities, and I think you really tested Amber Brandon in goal, and you found that, hey, we can score on, not only this goalkeeper, but this defense as a whole. It's just a matter of putting together all the pieces.
Goal scorers were Risa Hockey in half number 1 for the Indy 11. The second goal was scored by Brooklyn Lee. Again, it was McKinney that had the goal to pull one back for this Dayton Dutch Lions team. If there's anything Brandon Kim would like to see his team do differently in half number 2, what would that be?
It's simple, just avoid those careless turnovers, especially in the midfield. Dayton has shown that they do a nice job of transitioning. If they can win it in the middle of the park, their forwards are already off. We saw it a couple times with the Route 1 ball directly over, and that's not what you want to do if you're the 11. You want to defend with your back to your goal, not running at your goal. That's when bad things happen.
Let's flash the standings at you again real quickly here. We showed these to you in the opening of the broadcast. Our standings brought to us by AES Indiana. Again, Indy 13 points coming into tonight's match. Racing Louisville sitting on 11 points. The Dayton Dutch Lions on 10. But now I direct you to the matches played, and obviously Indy is out in front of that group as well, which is not where you want to be. Indy only has 1 match left after the night. It is against Toledo. That's the good news, as Toledo has struggled in their first year in the W League. The bad news is that even for as well as Indy is playing, they still do not control their own destiny. Even if they were to win tonight, if Racing Louisville is to win out, they can get to a number of points that Indy cannot catch. So Indy needs to get a win against Dayton tonight. But Chris, they then need Dayton to rebound and at least get a draw in one of their 2 matches against Racing Louisville.
And quite frankly, Dayton's got a lot left to play for as well. You know, they're in the equation too, but you're absolutely right. It's got to start with the win tonight for the 11. Nothing else will be enough. They've got to get the win, and then they turn into the biggest Dayton Dutch Lions fans in the Midwest.
Again, to do the math for you, if Indy wins tonight, the max points that Dayton can get to would be 19. That would also be Indy's max points as well. Indy then would win the tiebreaker, whether it's head-to-head play or, as you can see, the difference in goal differential. So that is why Indy's biggest concern right now is Dayton, but it's Racing that is the bigger concern for Indy from a scoreboard and standings standpoint. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with some first-half stats and first-half highlights for you as well from the great indoors here at Grand Park. 2-1 Indy to the good after 45 minutes of action as you're watching USLW League Soccer on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
Across the globe, billions share one passion, soccer. And here in the Hoosier State, that passion belongs to the Indy 11. Fast-paced action, electric crowds, and a team that represents Indiana every time they step on the field.
Make it 7 for Bruno Rendon. Chance to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Indy 11, the world's game, Indiana's team. Secure your seats today at Indy11.com.
Highlights about to play out here for half number 1. And again, the finish by Sahaki. Cool, calm, and collected. The assist by Jadoin to split 2 defenders to deliver that ball. Absolutely spectacular.
Everything about that play is spectacular. You said it, just the calm, cool, collected finish by Sahaki and Jadoin doing the work out wide. But then it was Chloe Breck who created the most opportunities from that right side.
Yeah, Chloe's going to get an assist in terms of the first half. Didn't get it on that one. You see really one of the good chances for the Dayton Dutch Lions. Sahaki off the crossbar here. Sahaki with the takeaway. And again, we've seen Indy go for goal from significant distance twice. Here is the ball that found Brooklyn Lee to briefly make it 2-0 in favor of the Indy 11.
Yeah, it's a brilliant finish there by Brooklyn Lee, coming in from the weak side and just focuses on going the opposite of where the keeper is going. She's got no chance to get down to that. And now you mentioned, we'll see what happens coming out of the halftime, if we'll find Brandon back on her line or if she'll be cheating up a little bit.
But again, here is the moment that Dayton Dutch Lions gave themselves an opportunity. The old saying is the most dangerous lead in soccer is 2 goals. Gives you a sense of comfort you may not have. Dayton, for the first time really in the match, found some space in front of the 18, and immediately they cash in.
And they have been creating those opportunities off of turnovers from the 11. They were quick and they were fleeting almost, but all it took is it to all come together for one opportunity, and we're down to 2-1 now at the half.
By the way, the 2 matches of Indy 11 interest tonight started simultaneously, so not surprising. The men's match is at halftime, while this match is at halftime as well. That is 0-0 in Pittsburgh, second and final regular season meeting between those 2 longtime rivals. And like any red-blooded American, if we're going to be at a soccer match, we have to spend some time talking about what the USMNT did last night. What was it like watching that unfold yesterday evening?
A breath of fresh air. I tell you what, I I'm not going to be too much of a hater, but I did almost buy a hat that said, please just be half as good as the women's team. So I think they did that last night. Yeah, definitely did that last night. They look good. Hey, I think this is perfect. Opening game of World Cup, you played potentially the best you have in, I would say, at least the last 2 or 3 months. And putting it all together at the start of this, you just hope it continues and they continue to play better as the tournament wears on.
As I said on Soccer Saturday earlier today, if you have been in Indianapolis and a fan of soccer teams that feature red, white, and blue, it's been a really good week for you. The Indy 11 women trying to make it 3 wins in 7 days in this building against Dayton. We'll take a quick timeout and we'll come back, and second half action will not be too far away. You're watching USLW League play on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Let's thank our ISC Sports Network crew producing tonight's match. Thanks to Charlie Hammock and David Kahn. Thanks to Elijah Mash, Caleb Gross, and Dylan Lack. And alongside Kristen Hazley, my name is Greg Rakestraw. We got an 11-day gap between the 8th and 9th. 9th as in final regular season match for the Indy 11. They take on Toledo Villa. That'll be on Wednesday night, June 24th at 7 o'clock. Kurt Darling will be in for me. Kristen will be here for that one as well. And again, Indy now turns into spectators. And again, the 2 major matchups next week will be the Dayton Dutch Lions playing Racing Louisville each of the next 2 Wednesday nights. And that obviously will have not just a massive bearing. That will determine what that last match is going to entail for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and before they get there, they've got to get the W today. So you've got 45 more minutes to make sure you take care of that first step. And then, like you said, you are just unfortunately watching, right? Dayton Dutch Lions, though, credit to them. They're the only team that has taken points off of both Racing Louisville and Indy 11 this season. So they are it's not a David versus Goliath necessarily when they do go to Racing Louisville and play those 2 matches. But you've just got to keep yourself in the conversation by taking care of business and finishing this game out.
Got a couple of substitutions to start half number 2. Our substitutions brought to us by Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. Nikki Jadoin is done for the match. Ellie Hodgson will come on for the Indy 11. And again, there's just 4 subs, including a keeper for the Dayton Dutch Lions. Sydney Hardesty will exit the match, and Caitlin Rogowski will come on to play in her stead. So Hardesty goes the opening 45. Rogowski will go the second 45. Teams, of course, will change ends of the park. Not that it makes you're not exactly fighting the sun or the wind here. Maybe the air conditioning currents might be the direction in which you might change.
Potentially there, yeah. We saw Rogowski the last time they played up here on last Sunday, and I thought she did a nice job of anchoring really their possession. So I think that substitution for her, and not that it was necessary Hardesty did anything differently, but I think that she gave you a little bit more going forward. They're really going to try and, I think, keep possession, try and pick those moments to find the equalizer. And then if that happens, that's where you got to start being bad news for Indy 11 because they are comfortable just sitting back.
Is she saying anything?
Well, for Dayton to at least get a point out of this, not to do something that no team has done so far this year, and that is score twice in a match against the Indy 11. Fourth time in 8 matches they have given up a goal. They have yet to give up more than one in a single match. Indy 11 about to break the huddle. And again, Indy's depth has been a factor each of these last 2 second halves. We'll see if that can repeat. And Ellie Hodgson coming on as the sub for the Indy 11. Had the hat trick against Dayton on Sunday. Ellie had 7 goals this year for Notre Dame and did so starting 1 time.
She's got to be one of the most efficient scorers, not only in Indy 11 history, but maybe even Notre Dame as well. She just knows how to get there, knows how to be in the right place at the right time, and like we saw on Sunday, she can finish it about 9 different ways till Sunday.
First possession will belong to the visitors. There, Russo standing over this one. And we're ready for play. Possession largely controlled by the Indy 11. That's not exactly a surprise. A couple of mistakes at the back. Restart coming here for Dayton. Just kind of hit to a spot and a mistake at the back, and Edwards watches that one trickle past the post. That could have easily been 2. It's going to be deemed to be a corner. I think Indy is saying, hey, that was off the offensive player. She took a touch to that last. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, just unfortunate miscommunication there. Kruger thinks she's going to head it back to her. Maybe they're thinking Kruger got a deflection on it.
And they're saying that Mills got a deflection on it there as she stepped in.
Yep. Just a bit of a miscommunication, and can't happen in that sort of a play.
Dayton goes short. Bending ball left. Not a bad look there for the Dutch Lions. But again, that ball misses wide, and frankly, Riley Morris didn't miss that by much with the left foot.
No, and she's always the one that, you've been worried about going forward, but early on, I mean, hello, bit of a wake-up call coming out of halftime.
Russo picks the pocket. Well, Dayton ready to go here to start the half. Now the through ball didn't go all that well for Urbach, who was the target there around the 6, but Indy needs to kind of snap to life here pretty quickly to start half number 2.
And what's interesting to me about this little lull is that you didn't really even have very many changes out of half, so all these players are warm and should be ready to go.
But here's Hodgson. Does not take long for her to become a factor in the match. Sahaki gives it right back to Hodgson. Hodgson one on the keeper with the angle. Tried to beat her near post. And Brandon able to snag it. So both teams with great looks in the opening 2.5 minutes.
And you said it, doesn't take Hodgson long to get going, and here's just a great give and go with Sahaki. A little bit of a far out touch, but a great foot save there by Brandon to keep that near post covered.
And Hodgson's going to be called for the foul. Got there a little bit late. We have seen nothing close to being card-worthy so far in half number 1 or the early stages of half number 2.
I agree. What's interesting to me right now, tactically wise, is Lee is coming way back, almost playing like a 4-back in that role. I'm sure we'll see her spring forward, but early on it's a conservative look.
All played to space, and now we'll go back with a foul on the service. This will be a set-piece opportunity just outside of the 18-yard boxes. Presley Pennekamp gets fouled on the distribution.
Yeah, hard to see that much there. Brooklyn Lee just trying to keep in front of her. Again, not sure there was too much there, but she'll go down, and this is not a fun spot to be defending a free kick from.
Well, clearly how this is being set up, and given the angle, this looks like it's going to be distribution and not going for goal here for Urbach. She's got 5 players, maybe even 6 set up to make a run from the edge of the 18. Looking back post. Don't think it touches anybody. It does not. Goal kick coming.
And 11 lucky there because it's a great ball in. She just floats it right in between that space between Edwards and the oncoming forwards. And that is one of the toughest saves to make as a keeper, is going into traffic. Ball is about at your head height and just trying to control that through.
Hosden gets a flick. Sahaki looking for more. Good job by McKinney, the goal scorer, to win that one back for Dayton. It's Elizabeth Powell. Sahaki gets the last touch. That to have a trickle across the touchline. This portion of this match is brought to us by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. And Hosden going to be called for the foul. That's second whistle against her in 5 minutes, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, you like the effort, you know, it's not too much there. I think she maybe gets a little bit of a jersey, but again, not that much contact. It's more just the position she's coming in from there.
And you can see Dayton starting to pick up the pressure a little bit sooner now. And they frankly may have elected to be selective about that, knowing they've got 15 players and 13 field players in uniform tonight.
Mm-hmm. They've already gone to a 3-back, so you can tell they're trying to control the midfield more.
Here's Guthrie using her speed. Got the cross away, but couldn't get much on it. Made that an easy play for Amber Brandon in goal.
It looks like Dayton's just going to try and throw Indy 11 off by playing their own game. They're going to try and win the most of the possession, keep it slow, keep it controlled. And so then when Indy 11 does get the ball, they're more apt to make mistakes like we almost saw there with the long ball.
Lee, love the weight of that pass. Not enough in it.
Man, not too much there. She almost pulled up to create the contact a little bit. I think they maybe called her for simulation there.
And he had the opening goal from Reese Sahaki. 20 minutes later, got a second one from Lee, but then McKinney answered for Dayton. Dardano knocked forward. Dardano couldn't get back to it, and it will be a goal kick.
Oh.
Dardano was saying, obviously, she'd like to get a point to the spot out of that, but say if nothing else, that ball maybe ricocheted off the last defender.
That's right. I thought it took a deflection there on the way out. But what we loved there was the 3 of them going to pressure together, right? The high pressure just in the corner. All of them going at once creates the turnover. This is the high pressure. Now you're seeing it on the other side from Hodgson.
Hodgson gets the takeaway, has 2 options to play from. Looking for Sahaki and goes short. It goes in. Indy's back to a 2-goal lead. Guthrie got the touch and sends it home.
Great job by Hodgson, creates the turnover, and then look at this cross right in step. And Guthrie almost just guts it through the net there. Great job, no mercy. That goes near post with that. I think you're right. I think it was intended there for Sahaki. But Guthrie, hey, why not? Keep them guessing.
Listen, if the defense doesn't think you're going to go for the ball, you've got an opportunity. So Guthrie gets a goal for a second time in as many matches. And it's back to a 2-goal lead for the Indy 11. 3 different goal scorers tonight. And again, a bit of breathing space now for the Indy 11.
I love this, though. Early on, Dardano just keeping up the pressure there. Don't step off. Don't try and play that conservative look that you had. You're doing a nice job pressuring the defenders. Keep that pressure on.
Truer trying to play that one to Lee. Throw in coming for Indy. Shoulder to shoulder was the contact, so that's why there was no whistle against either Pennekamp or Lee. Seemed to be neither player was in an advantageous position there.
For as well as Brooklyn Lee is defending, I think you'd be surprised if we told you she was one of the goal scorers in the first half as well. She has been all over the pitch tonight.
Smith, well done. Guthrie. Distribution outstanding to Brecht. Hodgson making a beeline for goal. Ball doesn't get through. That will be a corner. Last defender got a touch to it to lift it up and over the bar and primarily keep away from Hodgson, because if it gets to her, that's a tap in.
Absolutely. Brecht starting right where she left off in the first half. A great run down the right side. Another cross into the 6, and Hodgson's right there. Timing is almost spot on. She might have been a little bit outside the frame, but a great deflection there by Sophia Prime in the 6.
Corner coming. Dardano will take it. Floats it up quite well. This one steered wide. Guthrie's pressure allows that ball to bounce in favor of the Indy 11 for another corner.
Dayton probably remembers on Sunday the corner kick ended with a double bicycle goal. So I'm not sure, unless that ball is out of the 18, there is still danger for them.
Emma Johnson starting to get loose. We're going to see her at some point in time in this match. Ball headed down, and again, talked about this numerous times. Dayton has tucked a defender inside each post, and twice now it's helped keep a ball out. Good job by the keeper to snag that and not allow any sort of rebound.
Yeah, Brandon's got to be sure on that. Coming out, she does a nice job of elevating, controls the ball higher, and that's what you want in that position.
I like that distribution. Even though Indy's got it in their hands now, everybody had drifted so far up the field. The ball out into space and see if you can find a teammate that can do something with it. Nothing else lets your defense reset after a corner.
Exactly. It spaces you out, at least lets you get into some sort of shape, even if you don't win that eventual ball.
Kruer again. And deemed to be last touched by Russo. So hockey tracks back and deemed to have played through her opposition from Dayton and draws the foul.
And it's just another case again of not necessarily anything dirty, but you cannot play that way from that position. It's any kind of contact, it's going to look that way to the referee.
Good service here. Kruer read it all the way. And Hodgson, you're not going to knock her off the ball.
Oh.
But reading the room, that will be a card. Again, Hodgson had the physical strength to keep going. She recognized her best play. Take contact and drop. That's exactly what she did.
I mean, I have seen tackles that hard where both players end up on the ground because of just the force, but the fact she stays with that and then she gets in front of her.
Correct.
In order to take that position, and that's when Powell takes the legs out. It's a great call, but that doesn't happen without Hodgson's pure speed and power.
So first yellow of the match goes against Elizabeth Powell. Not seen as many set pieces for the Indy 11. Opportunity here.
Put it on frame.
And Guthrie. I think that was more directed back post, even though it was kind of the unconventional way of getting it there. But given the fact that the second touch of the match, she went for it from 50-plus yards out, you and I had the exact same thought, partner. She's going for it.
Might as well. Shooter's got to shoot in that case. But I do love the ball, though, as a distribution. You split the two, and then if Hodgson's a step faster there, boom, that's a touch in. But you love the idea of getting behind that defense. A low ball, you never know what's going to happen in the 6.
Guthrie again. Cronin able to steer that clear for a moment. And floating it back post. Sahaki hanging around and just steers it wide. Again, she's grown up around the game. She just knows exactly where to be positioned to give herself a couple of looks a night.
She doesn't even go for it to win that ball at the first. She knows her win there is on the second touch, right? I mean, that's just savvy soccer. That's a soccer IQ, knowing just when to go, when that weak moment is going to be. She's, just kicking herself there because should have finished that one, and she knows it.
The read by Brecht, who plays it wide to Smith. Guthrie knocks it forward. And again, Hodgson picks up her third whistle, and
she's got to be careful.
Yep.
I think
she's
she's
the persistent infringement.
Yeah. They've been almost a little bit similar to you. Obviously love the pressure after you lose the ball, but you've just got to be careful in that situation.
Dayton Dutch Lions have another sub ready to go. Pennekamp will be the player that will exit when we get to our next stoppage in play. Game's starting to open up a little bit, and oftentimes that's not good for the team that's in the lead. I kind of think it is here for the Indy 11.
Just in the last 10 minutes, I think you felt it shift more where the 11 are more confident. I don't even think it came immediately after that third goal either, but just about the last 8 to 10 minutes, really controlling possession, really putting the pressure on, and Dayton's having trouble even clearing the lines.
Cameron Goddard will come on. Placing again the left back and Presley Pennekamp for the Dayton Dutch Lions. And our substitutions brought to us by Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes.
Well, Cameron Goddard was one of my players to keep an eye on last Sunday when they played. She's going to be more of that anchor. I think they're putting her in to control more of the ball going forward, but she's someone that has started 4 games for the Dayton Dutch Lions this season, and I would expect her to be involved heavily in the attack.
Smith, Hodgson plays it across. Just couldn't get there in time. Got an Indy 11 player. Throw coming for Dayton. That was Cairns that got there eventually, and now it's deemed to be a throw for Indy. This portion of this match is brought to us by the Renaissance Indianapolis North Hotel. Treat yourself to an elegant stay at the Renaissance, just minutes away from both Grand Park and downtown Carmel. No need to be in the largest of hurries right now if you're the Indy 11. They're a team that tends not to take their foot off the accelerator.
It's true, but you do love that they've just slowed it down a touch, just a little bit more in control.
Lee, love that through ball by Adam. Lauren played at Noblesville, part of 3 state championship teams at Noblesville. heading into her senior season at Purdue.
And she's put together an impressive career at Purdue, and we've seen snippets of it here. I liked, that diagonal ball there, and early on in the first half, she created a lot of opportunities going early.
Transitional opportunity here for Dayton. Brecht racing out to get into position. Trying to make a turn at the edge of the 18. Shot gets through. There was a touch there, so it will be a corner. Good work by the Dutch Lions to at least get a look. And again, Riley Morse, the player that took the shot and had to take a turn off an Indy 11 player.
Important to stay turned on defensively here. Morse going to go out and take the corner as well, so expect the service to be of high quality coming into the box.
That one gets to the edge of the 6. That hit steered wide, and Edwards can watch that one go by without lifting a finger.
That's so good by Chloe Brecht, though, on that far side to go ahead and take the touch, and then she's almost got a bike clear that with her back facing the rest of the field. Great clearance there by Brecht.
Dayton's going to have to kind of come out and give chase at some point in time. Indy trying to draw him in a little bit with possession here in the back. What a ball. Dardano, Hodgson, one touch to control, second touch to round the keeper.
Oh!
And that was going to go in anyway. So the O is the fact that the referee basically said contact was made on the ball, not the player. So now we're checking on Hodgson. That is going to be a goal for the Indy 11.
That was crazy.
So a 4-1 lead for Indy. And frankly, because of Hodgson, that's kind of where our eyeballs went to. So frankly, the call now is rather inconsequential. But how about that hustle and just sticking it inside of Cronin? I believe that's Brecht that gets the goal for the Indy 11.
I'll tell you what, she deserves one, and how fitting that it comes from across off the right side. But, I mean, that ball by Dardano is insanely good. I think she gets...
Correct,
yeah. I think she gets Hodgson there. She might have gotten some ball, but she got more of Hodgson. But, again, a well-deserved goal from Chloe Brecht. She's been putting in the effort all night. And why not? No one on our team can finish her cross. She'll bang it off someone on the Dutch Lions instead.
If you're a believer of the ball doesn't lie philosophy, the fact that thing found the back of the net about 10 seconds later tells you probably should have been a point to the spot.
That is about the quickest the ball tells the truth in soccer ever.
Another opportunity here for Indy. Hodgson right back at it. Sahaki going back post. That blast ended up going nowhere. Good redirect here by Brecht. I'll leave it up to our buddy Drew Thompson to do the game beckons game ball, but I think Chloe would certainly be up for consideration because so much of the offense is funneled through her. More substitutions coming in here for the Indy 11. So hockey is done for the night. Dardano is done for the night. Emma Johnson coming in for Dardano. I think it's May that's going to be coming in here for Reese Sahaki. So Sahaki exits with another goal.
She has just put together a fantastic season, and it's not just stacking goals when they're already up 2 or 3. I mean, she's had a few opening goals that have really set the tone for this team and set the offensive pace for the other forwards to keep up with.
Tonight's match is brought to us by Desnuda. Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. So last 4 matches now, it's 19-1 in favor of the Indy 11. That may technically go down as an own goal on Brecht's hit. May go down as an OG on Cronin. Either way, it's a tally for the Indy 11. Hodgson does all the hustle to keep that ball in play. If she's a substitute for you, you're going to win a lot of matches.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some forwards that absolutely thrive on being that off-the-bench goal scorer, closer of the game. and she might just be one of them. Again, we talked about when she subbed in, probably the most efficient scorer in terms of goals per minute in Indy 11 history.
I loved catching up with Martin Rennie, period, on Wednesday, but he talked about that's the role that she plays at Notre Dame, is to come off the bench and wreak havoc, and man, does she do that. That takes a turn off a defender, but frankly slows it to get to the keeper. And some players are best in that role.
Absolutely. Credit, we obviously know how good of a coach Martin Rennie is, but it takes a great coach that knows their players to understand what position makes them go, what buttons make them tick, and Hodgson clearly relishes that role of coming off the bench and, like you said, just causing chaos and creating offensive opportunities.
That's going to be a foul as McKinney got tangled up with Guthrie. It gets harder by the year in the current, especially at the power conference level, for freshmen to make an impact, but I think Guthrie can do that. Even as good as the ACC is, I think she can do that at Pitt.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and I think Coach Waldrom's comments about her coming into the class kind of reflects that. He expects her to be a large part of not only the team as a whole, but the offensive game plan, and thinks she's one of the best recruits in his class.
So May turns that ball forward. It will be another corner coming here for the Indy 11. Home fans saw a draw the first match. They have seen now what appears to be a third successive impressive win. Ball headed down, and again, that will get through. Yep, that crosses the goal line. There's an AR position in that corner for that reason. Goal number 5 for the Indy 11. Took a turn off the defender. Keeper couldn't get to it in time. Make it 5 as the quest for 3 points. It's a little bit easier now for the girls in blue.
And I think it was Matt Crew that finally gets ahead on one of these. Yeah, she makes the contact, and I think you could have gone a handball there on Powell. Or you'll take the goal over the line as well. But a great ball in by Guthrie, and again, Matt Crewer just elevates. She gets so much power on some of those headers. She's almost at the PK spot and puts that on the line.
Well, you can say this in a lot of aspects about this team, but just, whether the last goal was scored by Bracht or whether it's an OG, you've had 5 different goal scorers for the Indy 11.
Absolutely.
This has been the ultimate team effort for Brandon Kim's squad this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the 6-0 win on Sunday. Well, like you said, that was 3 goals by Hodgson just in the second half, right? The amount of different ways they've scored, different players that have been involved with the run of play, against the run of play. They've really shown an impressive performance, and I think it reflects where they're at in this time of the season.
We see the depth paying off for the Indy 11. Handball called against May on the infraction. Nope. Just a point in the wrong direction. It's going to be a handball against Dayton. And again, Indy, even with this dominance they have been tonight, still not in control of their own destiny.
Yeah, they've obviously this week, the last 3 games, taken what they can. Again, you've done all that you can to put yourself into play, and hope the soccer gods are with you.
And this one splits the uprights. And there's one more field position player they can sub out. So Cairns will come out. We've got a different number listed for the Dayton player that's about to check in. The reserve field player that we had would be Carly Brunetti, but was wearing a different number. We'll check and see if that's the case with the new player that's entered the game. And all of our substitutions brought to us by Desnuda. 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. And that is Carly Brunetti that is in the game for the Dayton Dutch Lions. So they have one more sub they can make, but that is their backup goalkeeper tonight. To some degree, Indy can kind of empty the tank with this group, knowing they're not playing for 11 days. That cross is steered wide.
And they can absolutely use the bench here if they need to, but I've been impressed by Olivia Smith going not only every single minute, but I don't think she's lost a ball yet, and she's received some pretty tricky transition moments, whether she was on the touch line there or being pressured in the middle. Just being able to turn, keep control of the ball, and redistribute without losing it is such a facet to have on this Indy 11 team.
Just these 3 home matches, Indy has outscored their competition now 14-1. And folks, at the start of the week, they were the 2 teams in front of Indy in the division standings. You are not racking up points against a team that's off the back. Advantage is being played. There was a pretty good jersey tug, but Indy maintained possession.
It seems almost criminal that, you know, Racing Louisville or Dayton Dutch Lions might be the team that goes to the playoffs, but that's, you know, how important every single game of the season is. Indy 11 just took a moment, a game and a half even, to get things going, and those 2 draws really just pulled them back in terms of now coming down to the wire.
Foul going to be called against Dayton. That's Hodgson that drew the contact. And Emma Johnson out there. Did not see her in the last week. She's been gone for the last couple of weeks. Penn State Nittany Lion and Greenfield native, representing her country on the U20 team. We talk about Matt Kruer's pro potential. I think Emma's in that group too. An absolute rocket that Guthrie had put Guthrie in that classification probably as well. A few years down the road, that played at professional level.
And that's the craziest part of this is, you know, someone like Guthrie is just about to start their collegiate career, and that's a lot of times where you will see some big jumps as far as, are you ready for the pro game or not? I think there's a few intangibles that we can point to that all of those players have at this point, but a lot of time in that career to play out, and a lot of time for themselves to prove themselves onto those national team staffs.
Opportunity here, and Kruer gets in the way. This portion of the match presented by our friends at Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Hodgson cuts it back. Guthrie squared away and saved.
Strong hands that time by Amber Brandon, because Guthrie gets a whole lot on it, one times it, and yeah, it might even take a deflection. Yeah, but strong hands pops that straight up where she can go and clean it up. That wasn't just a redirection or anything. Great save there by Brandon.
Indy has another sub that is towards the 4th official. Gemma Gillespie is going to be that sub for the Indy 11 and replace Olivia Smith, who you've talked about has been the Iron Woman this week for the Indy 11. Olivia's completed her 4 years at Indiana University at this point. Gillespie started 17 matches playing at Butler this season. Credit to Brandon Kim and everybody involved with the Indy 11 team. And after having won their division each of the first 3 years, last year, a bit of a retooling year. Went with a much younger group last year and went just 5-5. The division last year won by King's Hammer, who's not competing this year. So their players ended up playing for this Dayton Dutch Lions squad. As Smith exits, Gillespie enters. Gillespie is from the Chicagoland area. Actually has spent time playing for the Puerto Rican youth national teams.
Great experience on all these teams, and you know, you make a great point about the team being a little younger last year. You think you see the fruits of that a little bit this year with some of that core. You know, Sahaki, Elise May, Kruer, you know, really multiple players on this team, but then you do add in some of that experience when you talk about the Jadoins or the Hodgsdons that you grab from Louisville, Notre Dame, etc. And it's really just come together beautifully for Brandon Kim and the Indy 11.
Card showed to McKinney. She and Johnson got tied up.
Number 14, Riley McKinney, in the 78th minute.
I didn't think this was going to end up like Sunday, but it's turned in that direction. By the way, quick score update of the men's match, and varying in Indy-Pittsburgh style, 0-0 late in that one. I've been a part of a handful of those over the years between Indy and the Riverhounds. That is Indy's second most played opponent since they joined the USL Championship.
Who's number one?
That'd be Lou City.
There you go.
Indy 11 men are in action. The rare midweek league match Wednesday night against Brooklyn FC. Sure, join us on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Galazzo Network to check out that one. Kruer. Great turn by Guthrie. Even if she didn't win that ball clean, that's still, her athleticism and footwork on display were sublime.
Yeah, it's just, you know, to be strong is one thing. To have strength on the ball is a completely another thing. She's got defenders bouncing off of her all over the field.
I want to thank our presenting sponsor of Ford. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today.
Good step.
Yeah, advantage being played. Yeah, Lee was late. And she's going to get a card for that. One of the rare things she has mistimed on the field these last three matches.
Yeah, fair enough. Fatigue probably setting in a little bit. Yeah, she gets definitely just runs through the player there. Like you said, just a little bit mistimed there.
That was Erbach that kind of got walloped on that play at midfield.
The scoreline just makes the match looks a lot more one-sided than it actually was. I think we had a really competitive one for the first 60 minutes probably. I even felt 3-1. It was still a little bit in doubt because you felt like Dayton was getting a good share of possession and still creating opportunities. But I tell you what, it's been a ghost town down on their offensive end for about the last 15 minutes.
There are three matches in the division between this one and Indy's next match on the 24th. So Dayton and Racing play each other in Louisville on Wednesday night. And Dayton will play host to Toledo on Saturday. And then the following Wednesday at the same time as the Indy 11 Toledo match, Dayton and Louisville will play each other again, this time at Dayton. That's almost going to be like decision day that Wednesday night the 24th. Indy will know, and they know they have to win, and they have already won twice at Toledo. And Toledo has lost all 6 they have played so far, and they're in a goal deficit of 18 at this point in those matches. So all eyes from the Indy 11 will be at the Lynn family training compound on Wednesday night to see exactly how the Racing and Dayton match plays out.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better scenario to have the season-ending game potentially with a chance to play the lowest team to clinch that playoff spot, but they've got to have some help from Dayton this week.
Giveaway here, opportunity here. Johnson plays Hodgsdon. Hodgsdon charging forward. Hodgsdon goes down, penalty, yep. Taken down on the, let's hope that Hodgsdon's all right. And card gonna be shown. A yellow.
It's a great ball, and Emma Johnson runs straight at the defender that really creates Hodgson's position there. And yeah, you see her, she's got the defender beat, and then it's almost just a bit of a box out there.
It wasn't a full-on football tackle, but it was an arm bar by Brunetti that draws the contact, and it's going to be Emma Johnson that will take the spot kick here for the Indy 11. Trying to make it 6 for a third time in the last 4 matches for Indy. And every goal scorer has been different so far in this match, and that continues here.
Impressive performance. She deserved to take that penalty too, I think, after the way that she created that play. Don't get me wrong, Hodgson getting on the end of it was fantastic, but I love it. Step aside, let the young gun take up the shot there, and she sends the keeper flying the other way. Great work.
One more sub for the Indy 11, Jenna Chatterton. Will come on. Brooklyn Lee going to be done for the night. Jenna, the Noblesville native, finished her college playing days at IU this season after some injury-plagued years at Tennessee. She has been a constant for this squad over the last 5 years. That's kind of the role she has had now, as again being the second half sub as part of this group.
Another one of those experienced players, though, that really brings you just calmness, right? That's that composed position, especially from Chatterton, where she's in that spot where she has to decide when to get forward and when to stay back with those defenders.
Chatterton and Olivia Smith, the 2 players that are done with their college eligibility, the 2 oldest players on the roster tonight for the Indy 11. This group, a wonderful mix of players that are from the area, or those that simply play college soccer in the area. You got 2 pretty deep talent pools in which you're choosing from when we say that. Hayes restart a quick one. Hodgson tries the cross, and I think we'll go back to the point of a foul. Hodgson's going to have some war wounds after this one.
Well, again, she's not easy to knock over either. A strong soccer player, really, especially on the ball as well. There's been a few times they've sent her flying.
The final 5 minutes plus stoppage time brought to us by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Brett can't get to it in time.
Tough angle there from where she needs to play that. You've almost got to find an odd angle to fit that in between the keeper and that back line. So did the best there with almost what they could, just trying to pop it up and create something.
Miscue at the back. Guthrie, score it. We'll give Guthrie her second. She's the first player with a brace tonight. And he has matched their 6-goal margin from 6 days ago as they take 6 points this week from the team that began the week in first place.
Just a great read there by Guthrie, and credit her. She stayed turned on the entire game, senses that weak moment, steps forward, takes the ball off the foot, and you feel a little bit tough for Brandon there. She's played pretty well throughout the match. A lot of fantastic finishes from the 11, including that one there, a little bit self-inflicted by the Dayton Dutch Lions.
You know, we here at ISC produce a variety of sports. In fact, last Saturday night we were producing boxing. I think that was like a TKO, Barry. That was just the cumulative wear and tear of the constant pressure of the Indy 11 got to the goalkeeper on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when they don't have to do too much and Guthrie can do it on her own, you probably assisted in some way. And like you said, really just the knockout there. A long week of fatigue for not only the 11, but Dayton as well. And we just hope they rest up here and give Louisville a couple good games.
I say the bad news is for Indy is, you know, when you're playing this well, you don't want to have a layoff.
Mm-hmm.
I have anybody to play for 11 days.
Right. You're almost grateful that it is, you know, excuse me, Toledo, that you will be facing in that last game. But we talked about it, a week ago. Could also be the perfect trap game if you're not careful here and stay tuned in and focused if you're the 11.
Here's Emma Fry. Not a chance to call her name much in tonight's game. Shot from distance that goes up and over the bar. See exactly how much additional time gets tacked on at the end of this one. Obviously, outcome has not been in doubt for some time. And yet again, it could be possible, even after tonight, if Racing Louisville wins out. With 16 divisions, and this being just a 4-teamer, everybody knew going in, just one team would make the postseason. And Indy made the national quarterfinals in each of their first 3 years. First year in 22, that was one and done against Minnesota Aurora. In 23, that was hosting and winning the W League title against North Carolina Courage's U23 squad. And in front of 5,400 fans at Carroll Stadium. And in 24, it was losing in the quarterfinals at Detroit City after beating Minnesota Aurora again to start the playoffs. Last year, no postseason. Indy trying to avoid that fate again this year.
And this definitely feels like a team that could make one of those deep runs. Toughest hurdle right now is just getting into the competition at this point.
Racing and Dayton play in Louisville on Wednesday night. Good tackle. That hit goes up and over the bar, and no touch there. 2 minutes of additional time is what we're going to have to cap off this one. I almost wonder some of the Indy 11 players who are based in Louisville might go, you know what, let's go home for a night. Let's do a little scouting report, shall we?
Might as well. Not that bad of a road trip at all. To be fair, half of that team's probably teammates already.
Absolutely.
Probably have half the scouting report written.
Our next broadcast of Indy 11 Women's Soccer will be on Wednesday, June 24th. Toledo Villa, in their first year in this division. Good-looking ball here that really generated a chance. With about 60 seconds left to go.
Credit Fry making the late run to the far post there. And again, just Indy 11 in a nice defensive position, but a bit of a lull, and quick cross across, and almost gets to on the end of it is Fry.
Chatterton. And if these players got in the second half, they got some energy to burn. Mays cross doesn't get through. Chatterton gives it a second try. Guthrie and Hodgson taking a little frustration from that time she's been on the turf tonight with a bit of a nudge there.
I think that's fair. Even as someone that protects my keeper friends at all costs, I think that one's fair.
Well, as this ball is sent back to midfield, we'll kind of glance towards our referee in our center and see exactly when this one might come to an end. Foul called against Guthrie, and I'm not sure anything else is going to be needed tonight. As Emma Fry comes up a little bit banged up. And that's that. Well, the Indy 11 get it done again. It was 2-1 at halftime. 5 second-half goals lead to another win, a 4th consecutive. And this week against the top 2 teams in the division heading into the week, Indy outscores those squads by a combined 16-1. Kristen, final thoughts on this one?
I mean, they are truly rolling at this point. We've talked about it throughout the broadcast. A bit of a break here. They'll turn into Dayton Dutch Lions fans for the next 11 days and then hope they can come back with a chance to clinch a playoff spot. All in all, though, took care of business, and they look like a team that is rolling right now, Greg.
Tonight's broadcast on Sports Engine Play and ISC Sports Network presented by Desnuda. Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. And by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. For Kristen Hazley and our entire ISC Sports Network production crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from Westfield, the Community Health Network Event Center, and the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. Your final score this evening, Indy 11-7, the Dayton Dutch Lions 1. We'll see you on Wednesday, June 24th, for the next installment of Indy 11 W League Soccer on Sports Engine Play and on ISC.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I gonna explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just gonna call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation. And the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.